Guess what, everybody? We're going on tour. So all of our LadyGang fans in Florida are always like, Florida gets left off the tour. And that's because it always gets left off because it's very hard to get to when you're touring because it's like kind of out of the way. But we were like, nope, this summer, it's Florida. We are heading to the Tampa Improv on June 26th. It is a nice Sunday afternoon brunch, 3 p.m. LadyGang Live with us in Tampa. You can get tickets at theladygang.com or tampaimprov.com. We'll see you there.
It's time for a Quickie.
Podcast One presents The Lady Gang, the Hollywood Girl Posse, with Lady Gang Quickie. Here's Kelty Knight, Becca Tobin, and Jack Vanek.
Let's make this quick.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Lady Gang Quickie. I am Becca here with Jack and Kelty and a very special guest that has been requested by all you crazy bitches out there over and over and over again. Kelty, can you please intro our guest?
It's like Angelina Jolie was here. It's crazy, you guys. He's got a new book, Pillow Talk, What's Wrong with My Sewing. He has his podcast, Pillows and Beer. He somehow has a law firm, which makes no sense to me. And we want to welcome him to the Lady Gang. Please welcome Craig Conover.
Hey, girl.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome.
To be here. And I was telling Paige last night, we were doing this morning, and she was like, those girls are awesome. So she definitely used to watch and listens to you guys. So
we're all big fans of Paige over here. And a really good friend of mine, Jamie Lynn Sigler, has like a girl crush on Paige, and they DM each other. And you would think that Jamie is texting, like, again, just Oprah. Like, Paige, she has a way with women.
I'll tell you, Paige gets just as excited texting with her. She always like,
oh my God,
she gets a thrill out of it too. So, everyone kind of gets that thrill when you see someone with. You love getting all the messages, but then you'll see like a random blue check like pop up in your messages, and you'll be like, "Why are they messaging me?" And you're like, "Okay."
Has it been just like? I mean, now it's been a bunch of years. Has it? But Bravolebrity has grown. Like, does it ever just blow your mind that this is all like your life?
Yeah, I mean, it makes zero sense, and it's super flattering, but I've done it for almost 9 years now. And I was just thinking in the shower, not something I was ever going to chase because I lived on the East Coast. I lived in Charleston and kind of had a structured, career lined up, I thought. But it's something that I secretly always wanted and dreamed of. And I didn't really realize that until they came to me and offered me the show. And what ended up happening was I was like, what would I regret more? Not doing it and wondering what if forever, or doing it and just having to deal with the consequences. And that was kind of a no-brainer. And then it gets to a point where it's totally awesome, but at times it can be really overwhelming. And I used to wear like neon V-necks and blazers. Like, I was very extroverted and wanted all the attention. And then you become a little bit introverted when you start to receive all of that attention. And it's not something that you can say unless, you do it. So you can hear people be like, oh, it's not all that, you can hear people complain about the attention or being famous or whatever. And I wouldn't change a thing. But those types of statements, you just can't understand until you get there. So I was I was like, even if my life sucks after I do this, if I achieve like a status that I want, it'll still be worth achieving that goal and dealing with the consequences, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's worth the risk.
Yeah, and it's refreshing to hear too, because a lot of people that do reality shows, they're like, I didn't even want this. I didn't even, I didn't think I ever wanted to be in the spotlight or whatever that thing is. It's like, I think it's cool now to admit that you felt some urge to put yourself out there.
Everybody does, like deep down inside. Like, and if they say they don't, they're a liar because they wouldn't do it.
Yeah, because there's two reasons to do it. It's either money or fame. And a lot of the people on these shows have plenty of money. So I think it's something that I saw as validation, like it's talked about in the book, but I was bullied a lot growing up, which you don't realize how many people actually were bullied. And I remember signing my contract and being like, I hope those assholes have like TVs in the jail at home, because like that was a driving force. And I was like, I'm just going to rub it in everyone's faces.
My number one motivator in life is assholes from high school. Like still, and I'm 40 and I'm just like, I hope someone sees this on Facebook today that really didn't want to take me to the graduation dance. Those fuckers.
It's true. And it stays with you, which is wild.
It really is.
But it set me up for reality TV, because once I got to reality TV, I was like, you already had to self-validate dealing with that stuff in middle school and high school. And I was like, yeah, like try your best. Like, you're like, high school kids are way more cruel than you guys.
Bravo fans.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So let's talk about the book, but I need to go back to the sewing. So who taught you? And then did you do it in school?
Yeah. So I had home ec in middle school. And so you would spend half the year cooking and then half the year sewing.
And the boys and the girls had to do that together, because in my school, the boys went to working on cars and the girls went to it was very sexist.
Yeah. So my teacher's name was Miss Hurley. But boys and girls had to do tech ed and they had to do home ec. And it was a blast. I had a lot of fun doing it. And it just didn't. So I started cooking when I was young. I actually wrote like a cookbook in like 8th grade with a little camera, and my mom still has it, like plating the little stuff I would make. Oh my God. But I didn't start sewing again, until much later.
And so what's the whole zhuzh of the book? What are you hoping that people are not seeing from you on television, social media, that they're going to get with the stories?
So it was important to not be a book that was like, this is what actually happened. We weren't trying to correct the record. We weren't trying to fix it. And what we were trying to do is fill in the gaps. We only filmed for 4 months on Southern Charm. And even when we're filming, you don't see a lot of what happens, and you definitely don't get the full picture all the time. And so it was like, look, we love the show and we love everyone for watching and, what it's done and sharing our story, but let's share more of it. Because I was just one of the people that the first few years of the show, people, when they met me out, were like, wow, we like you a lot more in person than we do on TV. Mm-hmm. And I thrived off that, because I was like, just give me a minute of your time and let me correct, let you meet me for me. And then you can, fill in your blanks. And that's not the same for all our cast members. No. For some, it's the exact opposite. And so this book was a way to spend that time with people individually in a different kind of context and just share the story. Because I was like, when someone came to me about the book, I was like, this is absurd. Like, I'm 33 years old. I don't have stories to share yet. It was kind of a humbling ask. And then as I started to talk, they were like, no, like this is good. And so we just started to go with it. And I think it, turned into a pretty great project. And you kind of remember stuff as you talk. Because what I would do is I would just go get in my car. I have like a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and I would just drive for an hour on my like car audio system and just speak with my writer. And that was my like process.
Cool.
But it was enjoyable. And hopefully it's like a feel good reader, because I'm very open about all my ups. And I've fucked up a lot, and I had a great childhood, and there was no reason for those ups except to like look in the mirror and be like, no, this was on you. So
I love that.
You need that.
Yeah.
It's also really, I wonder, in the book, do you talk about how on the show for a little while you were kind of like the butt of the joke with your business and going to law school, and it was like Craig's flailing and he doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, obviously you got the last laugh at this point, but was that I imagine that'd be a bit difficult thing to go through on national television.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't fun, because the whole thing is when you start to love yourself, or say self-validation a lot. When you tell yourself like you're good enough and you like who you are, that's great. And then the show comes out, and first season was fine. First season was fair and exciting, and they want everyone to like you. But then you drop your guard, and then you have second season, and second season is always a really tough season for people. And then you get to a point where you just stop watching your own show because you just can't take it anymore. And what my driving force is someone pulled me aside, because you guys know how it is. You become best friends with your crew, like producer devil, but like while you're filming, but outside, you can be friends, but while you're filming, like that's their job. But one of the crew members pulled me aside. I think it was a sound guy. And he was like, look, Craig, like the more that you're on, the less ability they'll have to like make your character someone you're not. And he was like, start showing up to everything in suits, and like dress your best and be your best at everything, so they don't have anything but, who you really are to use. And it really helped me. And then once you get to, then your fourth season hits or whatever, and then you're just like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to be myself. I don't care anymore. Like, you're doing well enough to not worry. And then that's when things kind of turned around for me, because I was finally able to drop my guard and just be authentically myself. And I think that's when things kind of started to swing, with public perception for me, or we say public, the small sector of people that don't like you on the internet. We're like,
yes. Well, we have a large sector of people that love you on the internet, our Facebook group. And so when we come back with Craig, we're asking your questions, Lady Gang. This episode of Lady Gang is brought to you by Coors Light. There's only one beer out there that's literally made to chill, and that is Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/lady. And you know these guys because the mountains on the bottles and cans turn blue when your beer is cold. That way you always know it's time to chill. When you need to hit reset, just open a Coors Light. It's mountain cold refreshment made to chill. Coors Light is cold filtered and cold packaged, which is amazing. So it is about to be spring and summer. Coors Light is perfect when you are just, in the backyard, having a campfire, around the pool, going for a walktail. It's a perfect, light, nice, refreshing beer to chill. So get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/lady. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
The Lady Gang is brought to you by Progressive. So what's one thing you'd purchase with a little extra savings? A weighted blanket, a smart speaker, that new self-care trend you keep hearing about? Well, Progressive wants to make sure you're getting what you want by helping you save money on car insurance. Drivers who save by switching to Progressive save over $700 on average, and customers can qualify for an average of 6 discounts when they sign up. Discounts like having multiple vehicles on your policy. Progressive offers outstanding coverage and award-winning claim service. Day or night, they have customer support 24/7. 365 days a year. When you need them the most, they're at their best. A little off your rate each month goes a long way. Get a quote today at Progressive.com and see why 4 out of 5 new auto customers recommend Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2020 and May 2021. Potential savings will vary. Discounts vary and are not available in all states and situations.
The Lady Gang.
All right, we're back with Craig. Here we go. Like I said, it was like a waterfall, but here's some of the questions. What show do you enjoy filming more? Winter, Summerhouse, or Southern Charm?
Southern Charm, by far.
Why?
Well, I thought I enjoyed the other ones more, and you had Austin and I were cursing out Southern Charm, being like, screw you guys, and then the edits came out and we came crawling back to Southern Charm with our tails between our legs. And we're like, we never want to leave you.
Oh my God.
I mean, post-production is it changes everything. It doesn't, not using the word changes everything, but it means everything. And every company does it differently. And I'd rather have ex-girlfriends popping out of the closet or coming on vacation with us than, everyone has their formula that works, but I think something new kind of came to light too with the difference between the shows, and I think Southern Charm for me is a little more sustainable with following my life, because now that Paige and I are together. We obviously just worked on a project again together, which was a lot of fun. But the shows are based around Summerhouse, Winterhouse are great. I love it for the viewers. They get to see us have a good time. but it's a party show. And even though everyone parties on Southern Charm isn't necessarily a party show. And so I think we have a better chance to watch like our lives evolve and, you know, become a family or whatever may happen. I think the lifeline or the longevity of Southern Charm would fit into our life a little more.
Did you ever get nervous filming any of that where you're like, it doesn't seem like anyone has a real issue indulging, like drinking heavily and having cameras everywhere. Like, was there a time when you thought about it and thought like maybe not? It seems like it's like balls to the walls for everyone. There's no like holding back. How do you get there? Are you just that way naturally?
Well, I mean, we are that way naturally, but Southern Charm's cameras go down, you know, at night. We've never had to watch ourselves because, yeah, I mean, we've been horrible and like really messed up. But at the end of the day, like by 9 or 10, you know, by 9, usually our cameras are down.
Yeah,
so
right.
It was a big adjustment for me in Austin going to Winterhouse for the first time because last year, the first night, him and I got in a huge blowout fight. I mean, the whole rest of the house thought we were nuts. Like they were just like, who are these guys? And, you know, we're just screaming at each other. And then we wake up the next day and we're like it's 24-hour surveillance. And, you know, you acknowledge it, but then you don't really adjust your behavior because you're not there to be careful really. And so your scaries and your anxiety are pretty high, you know, once you leave and you're like, oh gosh, like, you know, Paige
I wouldn't sleep.
I couldn't do it.
I would just be like one eye open and one eye on tequila.
So
Okay.
you and Paige are in Mexico, like decompressing from the stress of what's going to come out on television.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like, and my parents, it was nice. We got to see her parents a couple of days ago. And then my parents are down here on a like family trip. So, like you search for balance, which it's, you know, it's nearly impossible, but you know, everyone's so lovely in person and it's something I'm working with her on is that like we were out the other day and someone came up to me and were like, we love Paige or we love your girlfriend so much or whatever. And I was like, go tell her. Like she was across the bar and I was like, go tell her that. Like it would be great because like everyone like the amount that like compliments and being nice in person affect people now with the age of like people just being mean on the internet goes a long way. And it takes like one person being nice to be like, oh yeah, like what the fuck am I like worried about?
Yes.
You know, like people, you know, everything's okay. But it is a bizarre world.
Well, the most important question from the LadyGang, and it's not ours, does he think Paige is the real deal? Is marriage in their future?
Obviously.
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot and it's fun. Yesterday we actually said this. It's fun to meet someone or be with someone that you can actually look forward to your future with and then not have to stress over, you know, like this makes sense on paper, but like, do I really want to be with them? And so hopefully it works out. I mean, she definitely keeps me in check and she's a ball buster and,
it's the best.
You know, yeah. So I hope so. I think we both do.
And then people wanted to know if you thought that Shep and Taylor will get married.
I do. Southern Charm's going to be like, this will be one of our craziest seasons this year. I mean, it's absolutely insane. And we've got way more episodes than we ever had. And it's like original OG Southern Charm where you're just like, there's no way. Like it will just blow your mind, some of the stuff that happens. And you'll get to see a lot of their journey. And you'll just have to come up with your own kind of like opinion about it. I like Taylor is an angel and I love her to death. And Shep's in a really good place right now. And yeah, for them, it works. You know, it's just one of those things that you'll just, when you watch, you'll be like, you know, you'll figure it out for yourself. But I think they'll probably get married. And if not, then Shep will never get married. But
That's true. It's like, this is the last
His only
chance.
shot.
And so people, the last question, sorry, is how are you juggling the pillow, the law, the TV? They used them as verbs. I feel like each of these projects requires a lot of time. How do you do it all?
Well, I love how like people realize this now, but not years ago when they were like, why aren't you a lawyer? And it's like, because I'm filming like 2 different television shows and it's a full-time job.
Yeah.
And sometimes the most frustrating thing in the beginning is that you're not allowed to say that it's a job. And so everyone just thinks you're a bum. And you're like, whatever. Having to answer to someone. But it's my team. You know, I gave up 2/3 of my equity to 2 people. So my Sewing Down South is run by me and one of my really close friends and his sister-in-law, and we're all equal partners. And because of that, I get to live the life that I live, and I still get to like film a project for 3 weeks and not have to stress about what's going on at home. You know, we all stay in our lanes, and it's great. And I actually was talking to Kyle Cook about this because, you know, he's like stressed about Loverboy a lot. And I was like, dude, you like compare the way you're living right now to like how I am. And you know, it's apples to oranges, but I was like, it's because I chose to give up, you know, some of my company and partners. And like with the law firm, I have 2 incredible partners that, you know, they handle most of our stuff in our day to day. And there's stuff like I only do our pro bono stuff. And yeah, it's just a support system. I mean, like I've got assistant that changed my life. Austin actually just hired one about a year ago because at the end of the day, I was missing so many emails and so many opportunities that my dad was like, you will actually make money by someone. And so for me, it's all about the team and having partners. And it just makes it so much more enjoyable because you're not spread too thin and you don't have to stress about stuff because people are, you know, I mean,
Gotta have a team. That's why we podcast in a trio.
Yeah.
Well,
You know what I mean?
yeah. And I saw it when I was reading and watching you guys and I saw there was 3 of you. I was like, this is awesome because, you know, you'll see, I don't know if it's on Southern Charm or out. Oh yeah. Like someone went after me for, you know, not having to work at my, you know, it's Sewing Down South every day or like be at the law firm every day. And I went on a trip with like a professional golfer and his brother was like, damn, he's like, that's the entire goal is to get your business to a point where you can hire people to run it for you. He's like, they're just being haters. And so you get that a lot, not in this situation, but sometimes people are like, it's just a silly insult to use. Like, well, you don't even run your own business. It's like, yes, I do. Like I just don't have to.
What's it to you?
And also there's way better things to hate me for than that I like don't micromanage my business.
That my fingers aren't bleeding from sewing pillows all day.
Thank you
Oh my
so
God,
much.
what do they expect?
Jesus. Well, listen, go back to vacation. I can't believe you took time out of your lost luggage vacation to sit with us. Please tell Paige that she's welcome on the LadyGang anytime
we'd
she
love to
wants to
have
be
her.
on. Like, let's go. And everyone on LadyGang, please go and let's pick up Craig's book, Pillow Talk, What's Wrong with My Sewing. We'll put a link in our show notes and also on our social media today so you can go pick it up. You can listen to Craig on his Pillows and Beer podcast. I love that so much. And, of course, watch all the shows, which you're already watching. Craig, thank you.
We're actually going on our tour starts like next week for Pillows and Beer too. We're doing 12 different cities so they can
Oh,
look.
so fun.
Yeah, see you in the flush.
We weren't here for a long time.
We're here for a good time.
Thanks for listening. The LadyGang is produced by Alex Ingber, Steve Delameter, and Jared Monaco. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. And if you love it, share it with your friends on social media. Like, oh my God, I just listened to LadyGang. This episode's so great. Swipe up to listen. And if you really want to, which we know you do, please follow us on social. At Kelty, at Becca, at Jack Vanek, and at The LadyGang. Sign up for our newsletter at theladygang.com and join our secret Facebook group. It's super fun. See you next Tuesday.